On this episode of Mighty Car Mods, we are going to spin up my RX7 on the dyno and see how much power it makes. I'm down here at Haltech with Scotty, one of my favourite places to be getting cars working. And a few days ago, it was a few days ago that me and Dave were getting this wiring done. We had one day to get that done because he was really busy, and now we have just today to get this tuned because everyone at this time of year, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you and everyone else are finishing projects towards the end of the year.
We're regularly finishing projects, which I'm proud of.
That is true. That is true. This is just another Friday.
Yeah. So rotary stuff. It's all new for me. It's a whole different world. It's first go for me. Now, where we got up to the other day was we hadn't actually plugged into the ECU, but we turned the key and the light came on. So where are we up to since that moment?
All right. So if the lights come on, Davo's done a good thing and that's the end of it. That's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I came in early this morning just because I didn't really know where we were at with this car or what we were going to be doing. So I came through just to have a bit of a look at it, and the things that weren't done yet were just the ignition coil leads and the harness, so just plugging everything in.
Yep.
I think that was probably done as a precaution because on these engines, just identifying leading and trailing, when you know it's very easy, but you can easily get confused. So
good practice to disconnect coils when you're messing with stuff though anyway, right?
100%.
Because I've seen a lot of them smoke.
Putting new maps in, doing firmware updates, that sort of stuff on any brand of ECU.
Disconnect the coils, it's so easy.
Always a good idea. So I've had a bit of experience with rotary stuff, so I could quickly plug them together.
Great.
I just went through and sort of configured everything and sort of guessed some injector sizes and stuff. I've got the ignition timing in the ballpark, but I'm going to need you to give me a hand with the timing light to set that correctly.
To set the sync, because top dead centre, it is marked on the crank. Like it shows you where, what do you call it?
So first gen, it'll have a -5 and a -20 degrees that are probably yellow and red on the crankshaft, and hopefully the coloured marks are still there. So we'll put our timing light on it and we're going to lock the ignition timing, and then we'll lock the leading ignition timing and we'll make sure that's firing at -5. We'll lock the trailings and we'll make sure they're firing at -20, which is where we lock them. We'll free rev the engine up as far as we feel comfortable to make sure that the timing isn't wandering around because of an old crank angle sensor, just brittle old wiring and that sort of stuff, which, you can't be blamed for that in a car that's, how old is this thing?
For 40, almost 40 years old. Yeah.
So
I'm being made 40 years ago.
Yeah, I'm banking on problems because, there should be problems.
Yeah, well, we've tried to modernise as much as possible. The whole purpose of this is modernise, make it reliable, know you can drive it on the highway at the speed limit and not worry that your carby float's going to empty. And yes, I know carbies can be configured to be perfect, but this will be super reliable, and I'm really, really looking forward to driving it.
The first step when going on a dyno is to strap down your car. This old live axle setup means the strap can go straight up and over. Next, Scotty is going to do a quick check over our configuration to make sure the wiring and input-output map in the ECU match up. Then we can crack out our timing light and confirm that our crank position and ECU are synchronised.
So Scotty locked the timing and we revved it up and it sounded pretty awesome actually. And there's some dots on there that Scotty was talking about before, red and white and yellow, whatever. And it's bang on. It's bang on the red mark. It's kind of hard to see on a crank or a crank pulley that's 40 years old and a timing light that's a little bit temperamental, but it is there. So I think we're onto a winner then, aren't we, Scotty?
We are. So the yellow mark, yellow on the leading on this is -5 degrees. So we've determined that that's right and we're on the money. We're now going to I'll start it, we'll flood it again and just make sure it sounds good. Then we're going to do the same thing on the trailing and prove the trailing's firing in the right spot. Mate, after that, it's time to probably put some load on it and we'll just check the driveline and just make sure there's no wobbles or no funny business. And then start tuning it.
Fantastic, let's do it.
All right, so at the moment, we'll start it up now. It's going to run good and the timing's not locked. Okay. So we'll just clear it a bit. All right, you're on the trailing now?
Yep. It's not near the mark at the moment, it's probably 5 degrees out.
Perfect.
All right, we're all set up, we're timed up. I think Scotty's happy. And I think we're ready to...
It sounds sick.
It sounds so good.
Yeah.
It sounds so good. Better than it used to.
Yeah, very impressive.
Big carby thing. So now is a moment of truth. Any old car stuff could bite us today. It could drop its guts worth of corn. It could pop a rotor out of a housing. I have no idea. But I'm confident that the work that we've done on it has been done right. Everything's configured properly. Hopefully that makes it easy for Scotty. And we will drive this home. Otherwise, it's driving home on a tow truck and see you next year.
And realistically, it started well. It's good news. You know, like when it's not a battle to get it to run.
Yeah.
Like, if we get caught out today, it's going to be something silly.
It's going to be something silly. All right.
If you're going to the effort of getting your car on a dyno, make sure it's serviced and all the fluids are clean and topped up.
So we just had a bit of a fail, which is actually a massive fail. I'm really glad we caught it on the dyno. Is that one of our plugs for our air temp sensor was just slightly interfering with the idle control. So when it was coming back down, the plug was sitting it and basically holding the idle up. So probably not death, but still not a good experience on the road. So I've just tied that up out of the way and we should be fine. You love it.
Every time you start it, you need to do that.
I'm gonna.
And then you can start driving.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, cool. Every set of traffic lights?
Yeah.
It's this, ready?
Up.
Okay, now let's go.
Yeah. You got to clear it out, mate.
You just got to make sure the engine's still there.
It's stinky, isn't it? Oh, we're getting blow by as well, probably.
Okay.
I was just looking around for where your fire extinguishers are. First time I've done that.
Have confidence.
Yeah, it's an old car, man. It's old.
It's an old, wildly cool car.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
I just turned it off. Don't worry.
Yep.
Man, it is smooth in the driveline of the car.
Good.
Amazing. So on a petrol car, I would spend a huge amount of So on a piston car,
yeah.
I would spend a huge amount of time doing 1250 RPM, 1500, 1750, 2000. In this, because you don't really drive it like that, you'll typically drive it at a higher rev.
Yep.
So I'll spend more time at 3 and 4 and 5 grand than I will at 2 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, okay.
Only
it
that.
definitely starts to come alive a little bit more as you rev it.
And it's as simple as you're just not in that area as much in this setup, so I can rely on the O2 sensors to do the work there, and then we'll come back and do the ignition timing to make sure it's got the most power. Not so much in this car the power's a problem, but more so the most economy.
Yes, true.
So if we get good ignition timing in it,
there's exactly 40 litres of fuel in the tank, so if we burn through that, we're in trouble. I hope it's enough. It's an 80 litre tank.
Is it really?
It's huge.
I didn't know
So I had to
that.
cut out half the car to fit it.
Okay.
Time for a power run. What are you looking for in this run particularly?
All I want to see, I'm not so much worried about the timing because we're very, very safe on the timing at the moment. I just want to see the mixtures. Basically, I've loaded it and done what I call steady state. So the dyno's holding us at 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 grand.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable going much higher on this engine than about 5 grand in steady state.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do sweeping runs or power runs.
Yep.
To sweep across full throttle up to say 7,000 RPM, and I want to make sure the mixtures are right.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll do the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll do 75%, do more sweeping at 75%, sweep at 50%, sweep at 25% to make sure that all of the driving conditions that we've checked and measured, and that there's got the right amount of fuel everywhere.
Yep. Cool.
So the most important one, this is the one where it's always a bit nerve-wracking at the very first pull.
Here we go, everybody.
Start data logging, full
Power
throttle, on, go. It's the tail shaft.
Oh, really? Oh, bang! Stay in. Whoa, did we just blow something up? Whoa! That was scary. Or blew a diff or a tail shaft, do you reckon?
Yeah. So the good news is the tune-up is bang on.
The tune-up's great, except we're not going home.
You're definitely not going home.
That was hectic.
All right, so there's smoke
How many
everywhere.
times has that happened to you before?
I've had diff problems
Look at it.
before.
Are you sure it's not something? Should be something on fire?
Let's have a look. Smell the gear oil.
Could have been... Oh, gearbox, you think?
Yep.
Gearbox.
flywheel maybe just fell off. That was pretty serious.
Oh, whoa. Well, we're still talking and breathing, so not the worst outcome. But I think I need to
you're
call
right.
a tow truck. No, I'm fine.
So,
Dude, it was looking good, wasn't it? Look at that little steady little graph.
the mixtures are absolutely perfect. Power's absolutely perfect, and there wasn't a single misfire or a single bit of trouble.
Here's what's weird, though.
Until there was.
Here's what's weird. So the only thing that's changed is we've gone from carby to EFI.
Yeah.
This has done, I don't know, 1,000 Ks on that carby since I've owned it.
Yeah,
On the
right.
highway, in fourth gear, full throttle. So what's different?
You know what?
Whoa.
After just talking about the tail shaft and the diff and how
Gearbox.
great everything is,
I think it might be
yeah,
gearbox, mate.
it's shit the gearbox.
Yeah, it's dripping off the exhaust in the middle there, isn't it? Onto a hot exhaust, which is what the smoke's all about.
There's gear oil everywhere.
Sorry for messing up your dyno, mate.
It's all right. You know what? It's your part of the of the car. It's not my part of the.
Yeah.
Mine's at the front. I look at the oil dripping out the front.
Yeah.
Looks mint. The one in the middle, less,
Not your problem.
less mint.
Wow, dude. Well, you know what? That's a first for me. I've never had something blow up.
So that was fourth gear, and it popped at, I'm going to say, 85 kilowatts. Let me
It made
press the space
85.
bar.
Wait, whoa! It made 85 kilowatts.
85 kilowatts.
And was it
115
finished yet?
horsepower.
Do you think?
Nah. She was going to go. That little tiny tip at the top there is just that I came off the throttle.
Dude,
and
85
it
kilowatts
was probably at.
Isn't that's more than what they make factory? Do we have made power?
It's made like.
But that's made power.
It sounds
carby.
mint. Like the engine sounds absolutely amazing. Like
Okay.
really great.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever just happened. Have you been driving it like that on the road or not really?
Yeah, I've been driving on like I said, highway on ramps, second,
you know
third,
what?
fourth gears,
I'm
full
very
throttle.
pleased that happened here because that would have been pretty scary. Just
would've
cruising
sucked.
down the highway.
Oh yeah, I've blown a gearbox once, but it didn't make a noise like that. That was big.
That to me that felt like the input shaft or something has snapped, and all of a sudden, everything. Isn't that annoying though? That I was just saying, geez,
It's going so well.
It's so smooth, and I can't believe how smooth and nice the driveline is.
As you were doing that, Paul, I was looking at your laptop screen. I was looking at the coolant temperature sensor. I was convinced it was going to pop its green load onto our ceiling. Just that's the one thing I wasn't confident with. But I never considered driveline
It
for
was
a
a load
stock
from the
engine.
back, not the front.
For a stock engine.
Yeah. Man, I think, honestly, not a setup, but just as simple as what we said before. Mate, it's an old car. It's probably
Yeah.
standard old.
No, you're
the
right.
gearbox is 40 years old, and
Yeah.
it's been through how many rotary loving enthusiasts?
If this gearbox is a factory one, it's done 250,000 Ks.
Yeah, so it's probably had like 20 engines in it and one gearbox. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
It's probably had,
look, the good thing about oil leaking out of it is it definitely had oil in it, because I did check that too.
you know what? Yeah, so there's no, if oil's coming out of it,
Fatigue, man.
let's pull it apart and
Let's go and have a look, eh? Get off the dyno
we'll
anyway.
figure out if we can get it off the dyno. We'll get
can
the
even
mops out.
Get it off the dyno.
Is this the first mopping experience with you?
Dude, in 14 years or 15 years of putting cars on dynos, 10
Yeah.
of those with you, this is the first one
Yeah.
that we've killed.
Well, let's not blame the gearbox just yet because it
Could be anything.
It could have done a uni and the tail shaft. I don't know why there's oil everywhere.
It's still changing gears, isn't it?
I couldn't get neutral on the way down.
Oh, okay.
Humour me. Can't break it much more.
A bit of a start again.
Nothing wrong with that engine.
Great. Oh, yes. So our faces when that went bang should be like, just goes.
It's just like, hold on.
Oh my god, smoke. Okay,
I thought we were going to end up next door.
let's pull it off the dyno and assess the damage. And in the meantime, I'm going to call a tow truck because there's no way this is driving home. But it would have. Look at that power. I was so looking forward to my drive home.
Man.
It's going to be next year, like I said.
The mixtures are clean, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Let me just do the data log and just
Great.
do
Okay.
the tune part of that for the sake of it.
Good on you, man. All right, see you in a minute. We're going to try and get this off the dyno, and we'll see what happens.
So remember before how we were talking about staged injection?
Wait, before we blew the car up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
So we did blow it. First pull, man. Come on. I don't know how far I made it. I'm going to say I made it 200 meters, 120 meters, something like that. So look,
Wow.
I did want to show you this. This is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about because I think it's really cool. So stage injection, it's got 2 primary injectors and 2 secondary injectors. Typically on a rotary, that was for a turbo thing where you might have a 500cc primary and a 2000cc secondary so that it drives good, but then it's got the fuel for the 4-cycle engine to get all that fuel in.
They want lots of fuel, don't they?
They want lots of fuel, and you've got half the time to get the fuel in compared to a conventional 4-stroke.
2-stroke. It's 2-cycle.
It's 2-cycle.
4-stroke, 2-cycle. And let's not go, we're not getting into that. You can Google that yourself. Let's talk about staged injection, because it is interesting.
So it's a 4-cycle engine, but it just happens to do all of that in 1 rotation. But the fueling part of it, what I wanted to show you here, so see that blue line there?
Yep.
That's our primary injector duty cycle.
So is this like idle, you start to gas it?
Spot on. So see down here, that's RPM here. So that's at 1600 RPM, wide open throttle. The dyno's holding us back. Right there is where I let the dyno go and that red line goes up. That's our power run.
Yep.
As the RPM's going up, our injector duty cycle, 26%, 33%, 45%. Then when we get to 50%,
it just holds flat.
Primary injector duty, look at that, it just holds flat.
Yeah.
Because we then turn the second set of injectors on, which turn on down here.
Yep.
The second set then start cruising up. So look, the second set are at 20%, the primaries are at 50. Then as we go up and up and up, as soon as they both get to 50%, they then both start cruising up at the same time.
So only once it meets it. Once the primary's at 50, it only starts opening more once the second one gets there.
So
and then you've got as much fuel as you want.
Yeah, so I can configure sort of whatever I want. I can even do fancy stuff like once we get up and once we get it on RPM, I might turn off an injector that's close to the port and start spraying from further away or from outside the throttle body in order to start cooling the intake charge down more.
Right, okay.
It's pretty wild. So that's one of the new things with the Nexus software on the Elite platform compared to the older series stuff.
Yep.
That's the way everything's going now. So pretty much, if you've got an Elite ECU upgrade and then you get all this stuff and the drivability
Which is a free firmware update, isn't it?
Free. Yeah.
So you could have bought your Elite years ago and you go, bang, it's all up to date. That's awesome.
Any Elite platform will do it. No.
Don't.
Free. I'm super happy with all of that, but the software doesn't tell the whole story.
I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
We didn't even get there.
Just keep looking this way.
I'm looking this way.
No, just keep looking over this way.
Yeah, don't look that behind me.
Don't look behind us.
It's too sad.
This story...
Don't smell the oil that stinks so bad on the hot exhaust.
This looks perfect. And that's all we need to talk. We don't really need to talk about.
Don't worry about that. How do we stop it running away? Oh, look at that.
Can you see anything?
Not obviously, but I can see where it's dripping from. And it's definitely gearbox, not diff. Do you think it's a measure of a tuner's skill if you haven't had to clean that many dynos?
You know what? There's the one that I'll send you a video of a Barra where a Conrod cut the engine in half.
Whoa.
Other than that, it doesn't really happen.
That's good. Because this would suck to do this every other time. I did offer to clean it.
Well, you know what? I know. But the truth is, how often does it happen? The truth is, I don't even know how I'm going to clean underneath it.
Oh, okay.
So if that gives you an indication that I don't really know how to clean it yet.
You like the aroma of gearbox oil every time you tune a car,
You know what?
don't you?
Of all oils, I'm glad it's gearbox.
Yeah.
Because that means it's not engine.
Yeah.
But I'm disappointed that it's gearbox because this room is going to be a write-off. Lucky it's nearly Christmas.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully, it'll fix itself over the break.
I found the rest of the gearbox. I was wondering why there wasn't enough on there.
It looks good. I think we've cleaned up perfectly.
No, there's the rest of the engine just all under there.
Whoa! Oh, hang on. Is there a big bolt there? I wonder if that's your bolt.
Oh, I hope not. Nah, it's too big.
Holy shit. Okay, so there's some oil under there.
Yeah, so I reckon I can get a bit of a mop under there.
Hang on. What's this thing? I know what that thing is. Have you seen one of those before? This is not a big problem. We're cool.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Oh, but why?
That's yours. You own that.
That's the uni thing.
Cool. All right. Not a big deal. Hopefully.
Not a big deal. So hopefully not a box.
This could have broken the box because of this.
I see.
So it's done a uni.
It's done a uni, which is not uncommon on old cars, right? But 85, that's factory power.
Yeah. That was luck.
Age.
That was luck.
Dutch dumps. Who knows what's been going on?
So if
okay,
you've got
so maybe
one
tail
of
shaft.
them, we'll keep looking.
Good find.
I reckon what we might do is we'll probably pull that shaft out and just have a bit of a look. But
so that
doesn't explain why there's oil falling out.
Best case, it's broken,
Yeah.
come out, and the oil's actually coming out the back of the box.
I'm going to go for the uni's broken. The tail shaft has said, let me out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm scared that it might have taken the back of the gearbox off when it was trying to come out.
The back of the snout.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fluke if the box is still actually intact, but I guess we'll find out once we finish cleaning up our mess. My mess.
So you know how we normally do this, and then we normally go out for lunch, right? After do we get like a celebratory lunch that we're both alive?
Yeah.
Well, one, your throttle didn't kill you, and two, your tail shaft didn't kill you.
Yeah.
So I think we're all right.
Souvenir.
Oh, there is lots of
Metal.
there's just lots of going on back here.
Could be the rest of a tail shaft under there
Yeah.
somewhere. Oh dear. It's a lot of gearbox oil.